My guest today is Chilliwack Mayor Ken Popove. He's been on the show so many times I've lost track. Wonder if he likes me. Welcome to Small Talk.
Any and all are welcome here to come and chat with me.
Welcome to the show, everybody, and I'd like to welcome back Chilliwack Mayor Ken Popove. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, Miss Guitar. How are you?
Well, you know, I'm good. I'm good. I'm pleased that you're back here on the show again. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, we've had some tough time in the Fraser Valley, right?
To say the least. Yep.
With the flooding. Now, I heard a lot of good things about council getting right in there and doing whatever they could. What were some of the things that you were able to do?
Like, are you talking physically or are you talking behind the scenes?
Either or.
Okay. Well, Councillor Lum played a big role in Yarrow, being like a resident there and very, very connected there when things hit. He was my kind of go-to guy as far as getting information. Of course, Chris Wilson, the assistant fire chief, who's in charge of our emergency side of the house, we're in conversation hourly, basically. When the alert was put out, I had to sign that. And I was delivered to all the houses, and within about an hour and a half, with more data collected, I had to make probably the hardest decision that I've had to make, is to sign an evacuation order, because essentially I'm asking 300 plus people to evacuate their homes. Talking with staff. Is this the right thing to do? Are we in imminent danger? And the big resolve out of that was to err on the side of caution, and I'm glad we did. And through Councillor Lum's work, it's kind of funny. CAO Peter Monti said that Yarrow sort of has a tom-tom sort of a thing. 90% of the people were gone already. They could see it coming. They heard it was coming. They, well, not heard it, but they heard the news that there was possibly going to be happening. So yeah, and that lasted not a long period of time, because it crested around Boundary Road and up to Sand Road, and there were there was about 10 houses that were still under evac orders, but they are all actually back in their houses now. We've only got a couple on Yale Road, off a little mountain. There's a couple of houses there are still evacuated up on Eastern Hillsides as well. But thanks to the folks in Yarrow, Councillor Lum's leadership on that point, we kept everybody safe, farm animals safe. And yeah, there were a lot of flooded basements and that sort of thing, and here in Chilliwack as well. But we will get through this. And as far as the physical work, I know myself and Councillor Shields put in a few hours. The sandbagging area, like a Townsend Park, and that was something that was. I couldn't believe the amount of people that came out, brought their families, but the whole attitude of the whole group was, people were just helping each other, and the tunes were going, the Tim Hortons were showing up, boxes of pizzas were showing up. It was a real community event, and I so thank everybody, each and every one of you, for stepping up, doing your part, and getting through this. The heavy lifting is now in front of us. The cleanup is going to be just a monumental job. I was on a call yesterday with some folks from Yarrow, MLA Coulter, some folks from community services as well that are acting as our bank. So if people do want to donate, I recommend that would be the portal to go. Just put flood relief on the check, or however you do that, and cash is like the way to go right now. Lots of people want to donate furniture. Not yet. We'll let you know when we're at that point. I know we're going to my wife and I are going to donate a couch to some folks that lost everything, and yeah, it's all about community, and you know, through these disasters is what really sets us apart. Is we just roll up our sleeves and go to work. So
Yeah.
sorry for being a little bit long-winded there, but there was lots to say.
Oh, for sure. You know, I'm just wondering about when people are evacuated, does the city find them a place to stay, or do they find their own?
Yeah, well, the ones that didn't have relatives or friends that could take them in, they went to the NLC that's at the senior high, and they got registered, and then through ENBC they found them hotel space or what have you to hang their hat for, you know, a short period of time or however long that they needed to be evacuated. You know, I know the two properties on Yale Road, and I really want to get them back in their houses as soon as we can, but we're just waiting for the geotech report to sign off on that so we can allow them back into their homes. It's you know, for me, I'm pretty much done with disasters. I'd like to have a good, you know, 2022. There's, you know, putting all joking aside, I've heard, well, we'll probably get 30 feet of snow this winter. Well, you know, that would make sense because we've been through everything else. So lay it on us. We'll get through that one too.
So far, it's been pretty mild, fortunately.
Yeah.
I also heard that helicopters were put to use to help people, correct?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because we were essentially, you know, called Chilliwack Island for 3 days. In my office here at City Hall, I look towards the airport, and I've never seen so many helicopters coming in and coming out, because that was the only way. That was the only way to get in. You know, with Highway 7, Highway 1 blocked off. I was the only way to you know, transport folks in Abbotsford for their medical appointments and that sort of thing. So it was everybody came together, you know, the province, Fraser Health, Fraser Valley Anglers Association, they were transporting folks, you know, like along the rivers as well, and evacuating people out of the flats and you know, scooping calves, and it was just a big team event.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of animals needed to be located, right? Relocated.
Yeah, you know, the flood came up so fast when that Sumas River dike breached. That's where all hell broke loose, because it just came in so fast, and the farmers, they just couldn't get their animals out on time. There was a lot of animals that have perished through this, and you know, it's going to be a long road to rebuild, but you know, farmers are very, very resilient. They got back into their farms as soon as they can get there, and sort of the cleanup process and get back at her again.
No, at this time of year, if there anybody that's would be growing products are in the spring, they're not affected yet, right? Like they'd still be able to start their planting, or are their fields affected?
Well, oh yeah, absolutely. Everything's affected. The raspberries, the blueberries, the strawberries, all the hazelnut. Well, hazelnuts might survive because they're more of a deep rooted tree, but all those products that I just spoke about, they're done. They got to be replanted. And you know, the amount of contamination in the soil, I really don't know how that's going to work. But I'm sure they'll find a way to reclaim their land and get the crops back in. But yeah, there's a lot of ag land that's still underwater. They can only last a couple of weeks being submerged, and after that they're done.
Oh wow! So that's going to really hit us hard when it's time to buy vegetables and fruit, right? And when it's seasonal.
It'll certainly affect us in the short term for sure. Yes, absolutely.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, and I'm just wondering, like, we don't know when we're going to be hit with something, if we're going to be hit with something, but is there something that people can do now to prepare for any eventuality?
Well, it's so hard to predict, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, you should always have a to-go bag, you know, kind of ready to go in your vehicle or close by, kind of thing. But just, you know, if something is imminent, you know, follow the the city's website, because that will give you the facts.
Right.
You know, social media isn't the right vehicle to get the facts, because the facts seem to get twisted around. So just follow our website and we will put the facts out there. We will give you, you know, as much warning as you need to move forward. Let's not hope that happens again. I'm good with just having a mellow, you know, 22.
Yeah.
I know the Farmer's Almanac is predicting a little more precipitation out this way, which we always get. Maybe that'll just stay in the mountains as, you know, as snow, and then we'll worry about the runoff in the spring. But yeah, like I said, we've been through a lot with the heat dome and the forest fires and the floods and the murder hornets and whatever else was thrown at us. But we've come through. We've come
Now,
through.
a lot of people I know, seniors, are not, they don't have access to the internet. So where do they go for their news or for their reports?
Well, then, you know, if they have radios, they can, I'm on both stations, you know, through the course of this every day, and actually sometimes three times a day.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because it's such a, you know, socially connected world that we live in now, that I'd be surprised if they, you know, like if folks don't have an access to the internet, but that would be a good idea to get that if they haven't as of yet, because it's the quickest vehicle to get information out.
I'm going to suggest, because one of my friends said to me that there was a complaint that there wasn't enough information for them, again, because they're not on the internet. So I will make sure that they know that, check the radio station, right? The local radio stations. Yeah,
you know, I probably did 40 plus interviews through the course of that. And I have no way to put my broadcast out there. You know, the TV stations, the radio stations, they pick and choose what they want. Yeah. For sure, Henry Braun of, you know, like of Abbotsford, his community was hit a lot harder than we were. So on the sensational side, I can understand that, because I was accused of, where am I? Well, I was here doing the work. You know, I toured the areas many times. I got up in the air a couple times. But as far as getting the word out, myself with my communication staff, we think we did a pretty good job, but I don't control the airwaves. It's up to them what they want to put out there. And I did my best. I think you did a great job. Thank you. You're welcome. And listen, thank you again for taking the time out to be on here and to answer those questions. Sure. I think it's important for people to know that you are doing everything that you can when you need to do it, right? Yeah. So and let's, can we quickly touch on some, some positive stuff? Like, I was going on downtown with the Christmas Village downtown and the Ferris wheel and the mini donuts and I got criticized for putting up Christmas decorations as well, because we were wasting fuel. Well, I was contracted out. That's always contracted out. I wanted to shed some, cheer, and that's what we needed. Yeah, we've been through a whole lot of crapola. There's no question, but let's all be kind to each other and kind to your neighbors and check on your neighbors. But if you have the will, bring your kids downtown and experience what the Morans have put together. It's wonderful. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and my good thanks to my good friend Trevor McDonald for getting the word out as far as the BIA. So, there's some good positives that have come out of this as well. So, we have a long road ahead, but there's way more positives than negatives. And thank you for having me on this broadcast, Nancy, and I wish you a safe and prosperous new year. Thank you, and same to you, Mary. And by the way, I was downtown recently, and it looks awesome. And again, it makes me smile. Yeah, and I'd be remiss to thank the Alger brothers for the work that they've done. The Christmas decorations there are second to none, and that's all on their dime. They've done a great job. Awesome. So, yeah. Okay, good. Okay, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Okay, we'll see you, Nancy. Right. Bye-bye. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Well, thank you for tuning in. And if you're new to the show, I hope you'll come back. I always have great guests, at least I think so, and learn new things all the time. And anyway, as the mayor says, be safe, be happy, be healthy, and
be kind, and peace out, everyone.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.